Last time he spoke about me, he was saying he's going to see me over the weekend and he's going to tell me to my face. He's going to start wagging his finger around near my face. Let me tell you something, gad boy.
Answer the question now. Because you disappoint me and I looked up to you and I supported you.
I'm just trying to be honest, John.
Honest?
Yeah.
Honest, saying that you took beat.
John Fury and Tyson Fury have now taken their beef with Carl Froch to the next level, as they attacked him when he showed up while they did some media work in London, United Kingdom. Of course, it won't be so difficult to predict who began the whole brawl, as John Fury was the one who walked up to Carl Froch and began ranting once they stood across each other. For many months, John Fury had promised Carl Froch a severe beating if they ever chanced on each other. And when they eventually met, John Fury confronted Carl Froch and began ranting.
Why am you? If I take
He ranted so furiously and threatened to destroy Carl Froch, not just in bare knuckle where he's always boasting to have specialized in as an area of combat sport, but to beat up Carl Froch there and then. This led to a back and forth between them that saw John Fury push and shove Froch, and while Carl Froch retaliated, Tyson Fury was on the scene to use his reach to hit Carl Froch, which caused him huge damage and saw him land on the hospital bed. This has been a long-term promise of John Fury to Carl Froch, actually. He confronted John Fury and mocked him for Tyson's loss against Alexander Usyk. But not just that, he went ahead to blame John for Tyson's loss, claiming John Fury was responsible for the chaos in Tyson's corner on the night.
Shithouse.
a friggin' shithouse?
To me, when you call somebody a shithouse, it means they're a bottle job. It means they're scared to fight anybody. I fear.
Froch had told him during the live session that he was a destructive father, saying, "Anyone should be ashamed to have a father like you. That's so embarrassing. You literally ruined your son. He lost because you always want to steal the show, and you've done it by doing the most embarrassing thing possible. You headbutt your opposing team and shouted over your son till he lost. Don't even come for me. You'll regret it."
No man born from his mother. I don't even know what that means, but he's called me a has-been. What's all this has-been business?
People are only interested in current champions, men who's doing stuff today.
Froch then quipped after John Fury said he had no business with what happened in the corner and that he should get ready for some serious beating. "You won't survive it, old man. You'd be on the ground before I raise a finger," Carl Froch said. And now, Tyson Fury is apparently back, ready to take revenge on his father's behalf. He slammed Carl Froch for coming at his father, asking if Froch ever had anyone to father him. "Carl, you're a freaking idiot, and I don't blame you. You don't come at my father like that, never. If you don't have one, then don't disrespect mine. You need to know boundaries, and don't cross this oath, else I'll kill you."
Fucking balls, lick 'em. Listen, haters are gonna hate, and the fact that Tony Bellew and Carl Froch didn't make any money out of the game.
He further trolled Carl Froch for claiming he would fight John Fury for charity. "Leave my dad alone, ignore him, and let's meet. Let's face in the ring and let me break your bones and feed them to dogs, you idiot. And for the records, your boxing career has nothing on me." As usual, Carl Froch is expected to drop his response on his YouTube page, Froch on Fighting, having done that severally in the past when he had to throw shades at John Fury or his son Tyson Fury. Months ago, after Carl Froch slammed Tyson Fury for avoiding Alexander Usyk to face France's former World Boxing Council heavyweight champion, Tyson Fury hit back at criticism of his decision to face boxing debutant Francis in a 10-round non-title bout in the Saudi Arabian capital of Riyadh on October 28th.
The big game changer. What's his name? Ngannou. Tyson Fury against Ngannou. So a crossover fight, boxing, MMA. Been there, seen it, heard it all before. See it with Floyd Mayweather and Conor McGregor. It's a load of rubbish. Nobody's in.
Prior to the fight, it was clear that the 35-year-old Brit was eschewing a bout against the former World Boxing Association, World Boxing Organization and International Boxing Federation heavyweight champion, and now undisputed world heavyweight champion, Alexander Usyk, in favor of the big money bout against former Ultimate Fighting Championship heavyweight champion Francis instead. And the two retired former world champions who were particularly vocal about their dismay in Fury's decision are Carl Froch and Tony Bellew. Their comments ruffled the feathers of the self-styled Gypsy King. "See these damn balls? Lick them, idiot," Fury said. "The fact that Bellew and Froch didn't make any money out of the game is obviously hurtful to them."
is obviously hurtful to him. And I'm making the biggest bags that's ever.
I've just signed the biggest deal in boxing history, which I can't divulge to you right now. They're like all these media suckers mention Tyson Fury's name to try and get some clickbait. But without me, there ain't no fucking boxing. I run the game. Froch called out Fury for disrespecting the sport and its fans.
It's not classy, is it? To talk about money, it's not classy at all. Me and Tony Bellew, and I can talk for Tony because I know he had a couple of lucrative fights on pay-per-view.
It's not classy to talk about money at all. Me and Tony, we've done all right. We've got out of the sport with our health intact, financially free, physically and mentally in a good place, he said on his YouTube channel, Froch on Fighting. He then continued saying, I'm an average fighter? Your CV doesn't stack up against mine, it just doesn't. You've got 4 wins over world champions, 4. Steve Cunningham, an old cruiserweight. Vladimir Klitschko, in a real stinker, horrible fight. Deontay Wilder 3 times and you beat him twice. I've got 11 wins over world champions. Lennox Lewis, what's he got, 14?
We've done all right. We've got out of the sport financially free with, more importantly, our health intact. We're physically and mentally in a...
I'll tell you something, you can have as much money as you want in your wallet. You turn up to the Hall of Fame party next year and you won't be dining on the top table with me, any my peers, because you won't belong there with that CV. Froch, however, added, advising Tyson Fury to instead mind his business and concentrate on real fights. You should be defending your title, fighting other champions. How long have you got in the game? 2, 3 more fights? It's a waste to take these crossover fights. You're killing off the fans. They're turning against you. It's sad to see.
It's nonsensical. We don't need to know about it because...
I mean, heavyweight is just a different kettle of fish, isn't it?
The heavyweights tend to make all the money they do over decades of boxing.
Deep down, I think you know you're hurting the sport. Get in that ring with a real fighter like Alexander Usyk or Anthony Joshua. Speaking on the most recent episode of Talk Sports The Verdict podcast with George Groves, the former unified super middleweight champion said, Carl Froch was particularly vocal about removing Fury Sr.
One, because I didn't. I got Robert McCracken 95% of the time, and then I had Tony.
But when you've got 3 people, including Big John Fury, the fighting man, he said with a bit of humor. When you've got him in the corner shouting and screaming at you, whilst you've got 2 other people giving you advice, that means you're listening to absolutely nobody. He continued, I thought that was terrible and really unprofessional in his corner. He shouldn't be in there anymore.
Sims, Joe Cordina's man. He was doing my cuts. I also had a guy called Mark Seltzer, but he didn't really give me much. He just gave me a little look and a nod and a wink. But Rob McCracken...
His coach, Sugar Hill, knows everything about the game. He was trying to give him instructions. How can Tyson focus on Sugar Hill and take on those instructions when he's got John Fury shouting down his ear and talking stuff to him through the ropes? However, the Cobra has questioned Fury's hunger and believes money is now his sole motivation. And this was part of why Fury had to react. Froch continued by questioning Tyson Fury's motivation.
And is quite sort of nonchalant with his body language and it's disrespectful, and people don't like it. You know, if you're at the top and you're representing your...
I think now Tyson Fury's realized the legacy's probably not intact like he'd like it to be, Froch added. So now I think he's just concentrating on the money. I overheard a soundbite when he was in the ring and he looked over at Turki Al-Sheikh, who's the entertainment guy out in Saudi, and he looked at him, he goes, let's get the rematch on, show me the money. As if that's the only thing he's interested in now, just making some more money before he retires.
Including Big John Fury, the fighting man, when you've got him in the corner shouting and screaming at you, whilst you've got 2 other people giving you advice, that means you're listening to absolutely nobody. I thought that was...
But I don't know how that will settle with him when he looks in the mirror and his head hits the pillow. How does that settle with him? Froch again commented on Fury firing his father. He had questioned the professionalism of his corner, and then he was questioning his hunger and motivation. John Fury interfering in Tyson's corner could have been the difference between winning and losing, said Froch.
He's been a fantastic fighter, he's had an unbelievable career, but he's not what he thinks or what he's telling everybody or what Big John Fury is telling everybody. How he's unbeaten and no man born from his mother.
It's impossible. You can't listen to 2 people at once. That could have been the difference between winning and losing in a close fight. That interference in the corner could have cost Tyson the fight. And on hearing about the allegations against Tyson Fury, John Fury, and Mark Nelson, Carl Froch was quick to hurl verbal stones at the Fury, claiming it was clear for all to see that an underground work had been done.
confused. The referee, to be fair, had a bit of a stinker because he was getting involved when Fury was under pressure, when Usyk was landing left hook, right hook.
It was clear for all to see that something was wrong about the outcome. I don't doubt it. John Fury is a desperate man. He can really go to that extent. I'm just disappointed in Mark Nelson with his level of experience. He should really be doing better. He also added, hoping the trio get the rightful punishment for their atrocity. Sure, they all have to be severely punished. In fact, they could have a look at his previous fights and investigate them. There could be something fishy as well. Once this is confirmed, I do not see any rematch. I don't think he has the motivation to come back from the punishments this will bring. The Furies are ashamed to boxing. As you would expect, Carl Froch wasn't the only one to be vocal about the referee's questionable display during the match. Froch's former sparring partner and good friend Tony Bellew had also commented a few days after the fight.
I don't know, he's in between decisions and it was bad referee, and I don't want to give the referee stick, but I'll be honest, it was confusing. When Alexander Usyk landed that couple of good shots.
Notably, Tony Bellew got knocked out by Alexander Usyk in November 2018, and he believed Tyson Fury would have suffered the same fate as he did if the in-ring official didn't make an error in Tyson's favor. Without being too harsh, it should have been stopped in the 9th round, he said during a live show on TV. Well, Usyk should have been allowed to continue punching in the 9th round. That should have never been a count, and the referee knows he made a mistake. He then continued, in professional boxing, you don't get a standing count unless you are about to hit the floor and the ropes keep you up. Fury was stumbling around. He stumbled 4 times previously to the 5th stumble. It was on the 5th stumble he jumped in. He claimed Usyk would have won before the bell rang, as just 2 more punches would have ended the fight 3 rounds earlier than it did. Alexander Usyk only needs 2 more punches there, and it's the end of the contest. That was stolen from him. The former WBC cruiserweight champion was thankful that the right man won in the end, even if some fans were unhappy with one judge giving Fury the decision. Bellew added, ultimately, forget about that now because I want boxing to be put out there as the greatest spectacle sport in the world. The most important thing is the right man got the decision. There was no corruption with judges and no controversy. The right man won, and we have an undisputed, unified 4-belt heavyweight champion of the world for the first time in boxing history. It's a sentiment echoed by the winner himself, who said it's not something he's gonna dwell on. Fury has already insisted he will exercise the rematch clause in his contract, but some people are suggesting he may retire after his first career defeat. The bomber was of the belief that 2 things will convince him to run it back with Usyk. Money dictates everything when it comes to boxing, and you're looking for an absolute fortune this boy is going to get to face a rematch, Bellew said. He's not fighting for the money. He just wanted to be the undisputed heavyweight champion of the world. He might just get a second go at that. I'm not so sure he will because I think these belts might be broken up now. Listen, that fight on Saturday night was a memorable night, a great event. Alexander Usyk was unbelievable and so was Tyson Fury. Being that Tony Bellew understood what it was like to be in the ring with Alexander Usyk, he never gave Tyson Fury a shot before the fight, predicting in favor of Usyk. Tony Bellew believes Usyk's ability to set traps sets him apart from other heavyweights after feeling his full force in their cruiserweight contest back in 2018. When I fought him nearly 6 years ago, I had a small idea of what to expect, but when you're in the ring with him, it's totally different, Bellew told a news source.
Fury Usyk, and I did mention that night that you had against Usyk. Tony, briefly, as painful as the memory probably is.
His brain and feet are on another level to pretty much anything I've ever encountered. And don't forget that I was an amateur who went all around the world sparring boxers from some of the most decorated countries. He then recalled his fight with Usyk 6 years ago. You never feel fully in control with Usyk, and I've always believed that being able to fight calmly when under pressure is one of the biggest assets a fighter can have.
At times, whereas with someone like Tyson Fury, he's now under and that is the worst thing in the world you can do.
His slight movement with his feet and his feints always have you thinking, and his ability to set traps you don't even see coming is something else. Also, Bellew anticipates Fury trying to use his size and versatility to bully his opponent, but feels Usyk will be too good on the night. In Fury, Usyk will have a big problem to solve because Fury is also an intelligent fighter, and if he uses his size the way he should, he can cause Usyk some serious issues, the former World Boxing Cruiserweight champion added. Fury's ability to fight from both stances and his movement for such a big man means that he can also make his opponents think non-stop. If you want another example of his variety, then look at his fight with Klitschko where he essentially bullied the veteran champion. He also added, detailing Fury's advantages over Usyk as well.
I picked Usyk from day one. I think Tyson Fury stood the best chance of beating him when he was with his uncle Peter Fury, because that's when he was
Fury's versatility is a major strength because we can look at various stages of his career and see that he can always find a way to win. Bulldozing Deontay Wilder, wrestling with Vladimir Klitschko, overcoming cuts and knockdowns. This is a fighter who always finds a way, but I'm not sure that happens against Usyk. Fury has shown he can be hit and hurt by boxers nowhere near the level of Usyk, and that's a concern against a man who is so accurate. Fury will push on and try to impose his size and strength, but I just see Usyk being too good and winning on the scorecards to add another impressive addition to his already incredible record. As long as there's no controversy from officials, this is Usyk's fight on points. Fury first became world champion 8 years ago when he dethroned World Boxing Association, World Boxing Organization, and International Boxing Federation champion Vladimir Klitschko by unanimous decision in Germany in a slow-paced fight with a low punch output.
Steve Cunningham, an old cruiserweight. Vladimir Klitschko, you beat him in an absolute stinker. I was there that night. All right, you won. Nobody thought you could win. You got the belts. Fair play to you.
In the wake of the victory, he announced his retirement and didn't box again for over a year and a half. His second title run began in February 2020 when he annexed the World Boxing Council belt from Deontay Wilder in their rematch by 7th round knockout in Las Vegas. He then defended the title 3 times with knockout victories over Wilder, Dillian Whyte, and Derek Chisora, before losing to Alexander Usyk in a bout that would have seen him become the first undisputed world heavyweight champion should he have emerged victorious. However, he's been giving another shot at that just recently, with everything now set for Tyson Fury to get his second chance at cementing his name on history books as one of the all-time greats and the less than 30 undisputed world heavyweight champions in history.
Exhausted. Fury down goes Wilder again for the second time in the fight. 4, 5, 6.
Necessarily, Tyson Fury has officially activated a rematch clause to fight Alexander Usyk, according to top-ranked Chief Executive Officer Bob Arum. The Ukrainian defeated Fury last weekend in a split-decision victory to become the first fighter since Lennox Lewis defeated Evander Holyfield in 1999 to unify the belts.
That did. I loved it. What next now for Tyson Fury?
Well, there's a rematch clause, and Tyson has exercised.
However, Usyk was in danger of being stripped of his IBF championship due to the fact he was meant to make a mandatory title defense against Croatia's Filip Hrgović. Despite Usyk's epic performance that saw him add the World Boxing Council belt to his collection that already included the World Boxing Organization, World Boxing Association, and International Boxing Federation titles, the politics of boxing and actions of its sanctioning bodies almost saw Usyk vacate his International Boxing Federation title in less than 2 weeks. Each sanctioning body has a mandatory challenger for its respective belt with a rotation system dictating which belt is defended first, and that's all for now. For the very best updates on news, moments, events, and actions in the world of boxing, stay connected with us by subscribing to our YouTube channel, and don't forget to turn on notifications to get notified when we drop quality contents like this. Until next time, peace out.